Welcome back everyone, this is my 5th upload and it is a comic pack review again, but I thought that I could cover another topic, which is every Storm Commando ever that Hasbro's released. So every variation, this pretty much is it, and I don't think there is any omissions on this video. So these figures were released in a time period of 2 years, because the earliest one, which is this one over here, was a San Diego Comic Con exclusive from 2007. It's not too expensive, it's actually 40 quid sealed. I'm going off English pounds, so not too expensive. And the latest one, I would say, is a contendant. Obviously these two are in competition with each other for that. These 3 figures, 2 releases is what I'm actually implying. So what I'd get on with is the first release of a Storm Commando figure. Now this figure is not actually called a Storm Commando, but it is. It's a Shadow Scout Trooper, and it currently is about I would say 12 years old, as it was released in 2007. It is a very good figure. It is going off the, I would say, vintage original trilogy collection 2004 Scout Trooper mold. So it's a good mold, has a quite varied range of articulation, standard stuff. He has a ball jointed head, ball jointed shoulders, ball jointed elbows, swivel wrists, swivel waist. I think around this area there might be something, swivel hips, ball jointed elbows and ball jointed ankles. Just to confirm, I think he has a ball hinged waist, so that gives him a bit more mobility, more varied range of mobility, so he could kind of ride his speeder bike, which he was released with, which is a nice addition, quite well. So moving on to one of my favourites, and one of the nicest looking ones, is this one. The 2009 Legacy Collection Storm Commando from the Clone Commandos Evolution set. Now, as you'll notice from these Storm Commando figures, which is just a repaint of a Scout Trooper mould and helmet, this one actually has a different helmet. So he has a very similar appearance to a Scout Trooper, this helmet, but it is not. There is some actual variation in the armour between in your standard Storm Commando figure and this one. He also has 2 holsters, none of which are on his right ankle, so that's another difference between these figures and this release. His helmet, at the back of his helmet, has many differences rather than similarities to a Scout Trooper. So apart from that, his torso armour, his waist, body harness and body glove is the same. His belt is different, and his shin guards and shoulder pads are different. So yeah, he has the same articulation as the rest. So obviously I covered that. I will go over it again just to be a bit more thorough for anyone who doesn't know this figure's release. So he has a ball jointed head, ball jointed shoulders, ball jointed elbows, swivel wrists, ball hinged waist, swivel wrists, ball hinged elbows and ball jointed ankles. Elbows, I mean knees. I mean, I need to stop fucking doing this. So he has a very metallic, dark navy blue colour scheme, which provides, it's very much more what you would expect a stealth armoured figure to be, rather than just pure black. Obviously this figure's got this matte black colour scheme going on, but the last 2, which is the actual comic pack, I'll get into, are just glossy black. Now these 2 are the Walmart exclusive 2009 Legacy Collection General Weight and Storm Commando. So yeah, apart from this General Way figure being the only slaphead, or baldy, in the Star Wars universe that they made a figure of, to my knowledge, apart from Mace Windu, he's a decent figure. He has, I would say, these bandoliers. Looks more like a red and maroon harness, obviously a red visor. The only other figures that share a red visor and stealth armor are those two there that I've got sealed, and the Shadow Guard. So I don't know why I said that, but there you go. If I can remove his helmet without removing his head, this might take a while. I don't know why, it's very awkward to try and take off. There we are. Just dropped one of his pistols, but there is his head sculpt. Obviously, he does look like a serial sex offender, so that's why I display him without, with his helmet on. He looks a lot more intimidating than without it, as is true of most Mandalorian figures that they released, and I will be covering most of them. I'm yet to purchase the last two that I am interested in, and expect those reviews to come in sometime in the short future. So there you go. Now, the average Storm Commando figure that was released with him is less interesting, but still a very nicely painted and nice looking figure, because, you know, the appearance of Scout Troopers are very popular. You see a lot of them in fan conventions, so there you go. He has a silver visor, so none of these have the same real visor colour. None of them have the same colours apart from these two are the base colours. So standard articulation for both of these. They all have the same articulation. Both of these were released with just two Biker Scout pistols. There's no differentiation of weapons, rather than on this one. He just has a glossy black paint and the silver visor. Nothing different about him than General Way and that original Storm Commando / Shadow Scout Trooper figure. But one last look at this one, which is the most unique one. You'll see his weaponry consists of, none of them are Biker Scout pistols. This has it's like a high-powered pistol with some form of scope. So it kind of implies that this kind of figure is, and obviously the very small, just so you can actually properly look at it, very small pistol here. So it implies that Storm Commandos have to use precision in some of their missions, some of their operations. Obviously, people who know a lot about Imperial Special Forces will know that they have energy that reflects light, so they are invisible. They I think it absorbs light. The Sealed Evolution set actually provides an explanation about how that is done. So if I just move this Shadow speeder bike, and on the back it says, next to collect them all. I know you probably can't see this writing here, but because it's on the end, it's the end clause of this paragraph. Storm Commandos receive special training to fight the Rebel Alliance, also called Shadow Scouts. They wear dark armour that deflects light and energy, so that for making them invisible. So there you go. I think if I can edit it afterwards, all of these Storm Commando figures, they do not look like the original depiction of the Storm Commando from the 2004 Rogue Squadron Rebel Strike, third one in the series. My favourite, even though a lot of people hold Rogue Squadron 2 to be the best one. They have a very similar colour but different helmet, and I think they have a kind of like jetpack on sort of structure on the back. These don't. These are just Scout Trooper armour variations. So there you go. If I can get that image in here, I will gladly show you. But this is it. These are all the Storm Commandos ever released in the 3 1/4 inch scale. I do not think there's any others. So there you go. I don't think anyone has made all of these Storm Commando figures all in one video. So if you were wondering if there's any other releases, there isn't. There you go. It's very nice to have some sort of variation. They did it with Shadow Troopers. I'm yet to have the last variation of a Shadow Trooper before I can make that video. But apart from that, it's the variation between Imperial forces is a lot to choose from. I will be covering a lot of prequel and original trilogy eras, no sequel trilogy eras, just original Star Wars, and that will be the purview of this review channel. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's been a bit boring. It's what you'd expect some old geriatric librarian style of formatting to be. So there you go. This is it. This outro is too fucking long. Please go away now, because there's nothing else constructive in this video.